Good morning, everyone. If you're seeing this video, you've opened up the classwork assignment in the Google Classroom. If you've opened up the classwork assignment in the Google Classroom, that should mean that you've already done the attendance check-in question as well as today's bell ringer. Today's classwork is an activity on specialized cells. This is a card sorting activity from Stemscopes that has been adapted to Google Slides by Ms. Fortmeyer. So the objective of this lesson is that students will be able to describe phenomena, and that phenomena is specialized cells in terms of concepts. The concepts today are form and function by using context clues to identify the cells. I want all students to pause for a moment and think about what your actions are today according to my objective. Okay, so you should have figured out that your actions are to use context clues to identify cells. Now I want you to take a moment to think about what that is going to prove you know. So if you looked at the first part of my objective, you should see that this is going to prove to me that you can describe specialized cells in terms of their forms and their functions. How are we going to do this? How are we going to sort cards on a Google Slides document? Well, I think it's going to be fun. And I definitely think it's going to be less messy than a bunch of cards and little scraps of paper on the floor, although science is messy sometimes. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to the slide that says form cards. And you notice that there are 10 cards here. And then there's another slide called picture cards. And there are 10 cards here. The next slide says function cards. And there are 10 cards here. And the final slide says name cards. And there again are 10 cards. The objective is for us to match a form card with a picture card, with a function card, and with a name card to identify a cell. Below those 4 slides, you'll see 10 additional slides, and they are labeled cell number 1, cell number 2, cell number 3, cell number 4, and this goes all the way to cell number 10. So where to begin? I think we should start with a form card. That's why I put that slide first. And you can pick any form card that you like and read that card to begin. I'm going to model one cell for you. I'm going to start with this one. This cell looks like a torpedo. It has a compact head and a long tail for swimming. It is created and stored in the testes. Now you can drag and drop these cards around. I'm going to cut and paste. And I'm going to take that form card that I just read and I'm going to paste it here under cell number 1. It does not matter which cell goes on which slide. The numbers don't matter. Okay, so let's look at the form card again. This cell looks like a torpedo. It has a compact head and a long tail for swimming. It is created and stored in the testes. Well, I'm going to look at the pictures next, and I'm going to see if the form that I just read about looks like any of these pictures. And there we have it. This cell has a compact head and a long tail, and it looks like it's good at swimming. So I'm going to cut that. I'm going to bring it down to cell number 1, and I'm going to paste it. Let me scoot these a little bit closer together. Okay, so now I have a picture, and I have a description of the form. Now I'm going to go to the function cards. Let's see if I can find a function card that will match this cell. What do I know about this cell already? I know that it has a compact head and a long tail for swimming, and that it has a partner cell. So I'm going to just look at the first sentence of each of these as I go through. I'm not going to read the whole thing every time. I'm going to see if I can find something just by reading the first sentence. And right here, the third word on this card, this cell swims. That seems like a likely match. So I'm going to go and I'm going to paste that there and I'm going to look at it. Let's see if this works. This cell swims to its partner cell and pushes its way in to deliver half of the genetic information needed to create a new organism. Seems right to me. So I have the form, I have the function, and I have the picture. All that's left is to figure out what the name of this specialized cell is. Okay, so I'm going to look through the name cards, and right away, I see reproductive cell, sperm cell, and I read something in that function about reproduction. So I'm going to put that card here, and I'm going to see if this seems right. So I'm going to give my cards one last look over. And I see it looks like a torpedo. It has a compact head and a long tail for swimming. It's created and stored in the testes. It swims to its partner cell and delivers half of the genetic information needed to create a new organism. Reproductive cells create new organisms. This seems right to me. What if I had made a mistake, though? If you made a mistake, it's as easy as clicking and moving these cards to a new slide. Okay? This is very easy to rearrange things if you made a mistake. So I'm going to get you started on the next one. I go back up to the function cards. Oh, I'm sorry, the form cards. Always start with a form card. And I'm going to pick this card right here. These cells were formed in the thymus. These cells have T cell receptors, TCRs, on their surface that are unique shapes. I'm going to cut that one, and I'm going to go down to cell number 2. I'm going to paste that one right there. These cells were formed in the thymus. They have T cell receptors on their surface that are unique shapes. So I'm going to go to the picture cards, and I'm going to look for a cell that has unique shapes on its surface. This cell doesn't have any shapes on its surface. This cell doesn't. This cell does, but I don't know if they're really unique. They look like branches, but is that unique? Look at this cell right here. Those things on the surface, they look like wrenches. Those are pretty interesting, and they're definitely unique. I'm going to look at the other ones and see if anything has something that unique on its surface. And I don't see anything else that unique. So I'm going to give this one a try. And I'm going to bring it down to the other card at cell number 2. Now, with the information that you have already, T cell receptors, unique shapes, you should be able to go to the function cards, and you should be able to find the function that works for this cell. From there, you're going to find the name, and then you'll go on to cell number 3. Just a reminder, where do we start for cell number 3? We start back at the form cards. Always start at the form cards. There's a lot of information in these form cards that are going to get you started in the right direction. When you're done matching the cards for all 10 of these cells, there are 3 questions at the bottom of the page for you to answer. When you're done with those 3 questions, you can submit your work. The great part about this activity is that instead of having a handful of cards that we don't know what to do with after we've matched them, we have everything organized in a Google Doc. This is going to make a great study aid when we're ready to take the test. So after you submit this classwork, you can move on to the bell ringer. To the exit ticket. Ms. Fortmeyer's a little nervous about making video today, but you can move on to the exit ticket, and then you can move on to the extension activity or this evening's homework. Bye, guys. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.